here. Yeah, see how Clark grabbed her from...
Big injury news in the WNBA. Kaitlyn Clark is going to miss the next 2 weeks with a quad strain at
passing season as well. Her assist numbers, oh no, Kaitlyn Clark just went down. And holding her...
This is actually an injury that was separate from the quad tightness issue, as Kaitlyn Clark described it earlier in the preseason.
Getting some help.
Just announced that Kaitlyn Clark will be out a minimum of 2 weeks with a quad injury.
The referees literally turned their back.
Kaitlyn Clark, somebody who was responsible for 26.5 of all WNBA
off of the floor. And just when she takes a step right there with the left and no one in the area side of that foot.
This injury does anything. It should be a wake-up call.
It was the moment every WNBA fan feared. Kaitlyn Clark, the league's biggest rising star, is out with a quad strain and will miss at least the next 2 weeks. That translates to a minimum of 4 games without the league's most talked about rookie. But this isn't just another injury report. It's a warning flare. During the Liberty game, fans noticed her shots falling short, her form off, her legs clearly lacking the usual explosiveness. And now we know why, though the team insists this is a new injury. It occurred on the same leg she'd been nursing since the preseason. This wasn't just a strain, it was a sign of breakdown. Truth is, her body was already in trouble, and now it's caught up with her. The very player who had energized the WNBA's mainstream breakthrough is now forced to sit out. And just like that, the engine powering the league is on pause. Asterisk behind the scenes. There's growing outrage, not just from fans, but from medical professionals involved in Clark's treatment. These aren't just anonymous tweets or message board rants. We're talking about doctors who have reportedly warned the league that this injury might be far worse than what's being publicly acknowledged. Some claim Kaitlyn had been playing hurt long before the final blow, and that the damage was compounding. One more game, and the quad could have fully torn, ending not just her season, but possibly her career. Now, these same experts are calling for a formal review of how Clark has been officiated all season. They're pointing to the lack of foul calls, the physical punishment she's endured, and the league's refusal to intervene. This isn't a conspiracy theory. It's a medical red flag. The people trusted with protecting players' health are saying the WNBA has failed its biggest asset? Asterisk, this wasn't just a bump or a hard contest. It was a violent hit, plain and simple. During what should have been a routine drive, Clark was hit hard by a defender with no legitimate play on the ball. She twisted awkwardly and collapsed to the floor, clutching her leg in visible pain. The crowd went silent. Replay after replay confirmed the worst. High contact, full body collision, and no attempt to actually defend. The whistle blew, but far too late. This foul didn't come out of nowhere. It was the climax of weeks of unchecked aggression. A clear sign that players were pushing boundaries with no fear of consequence, and now we're seeing the results. Kaitlyn Clark, the player carrying the weight of the WNBA's momentum, was left vulnerable, unprotected, and ultimately hurt by a foul that should have never happened under proper league oversight. Asterisk. Let's be clear, this injury didn't just appear out of thin air. The warning signs were flashing for weeks. From the moment Clark missed her first preseason game with quad tightness, her body was telling us something. But instead of resting and recovering, she was thrown back into full minutes, full contact, games, and full-blown expectations. Her explosiveness dropped, her three-point range weakened. On the bench, cameras caught her using heat packs mid-game, something no healthy athlete does. And what's worse, even her coach admitted she didn't know how badly. Kaitlyn was hurting until after the game, when Clark herself finally spoke up. Think about that. The most valuable player in the league had to raise her own injury alarm. That speaks volumes. It wasn't just a physical failure, it was a leadership one. The signs were there, but no one acted. Asterisk from game 1 of her rookie season. Kaitlyn Clark has been the target of relentless physicality. Opposing defenders haven't just challenged her, they've harassed her, grabbing, slamming, hip-checking, over and over again. Off the ball, on screens, in transition. Every night she absorbed contact that bordered on violent, and yet no flagrant calls, no technicals. No ejections? While seasoned veterans get whistles for half the contact, Clark has been expected to tough it out. But this isn't toughness, it's negligence. And now, her body has paid the price. This wasn't a one-off hit. It was the final blow. After weeks of abuse, the league's failure to rein in this aggression has led directly to its brightest star being sidelined. And if that doesn't spark reform, then what will? The injury didn't just remove a player from the court, it destabilized the entire WNBA business model. Kaitlyn Clark was the draw, the ratings spike. Clark, the sold-out arenas. Clark, jersey sales, sponsorships, primetime TV slots, all built around her presence. With her now injured teams like the Chicago Sky, who moved games to massive venues just for her matchups, are facing the humiliation of half-empty seats. Refunds are rolling in. Sponsors are pulling back. TV networks are bracing for a ratings collapse. The league bet everything on one player, and now they're watching that bet implode. The business world has realized what fans already knew. The WNBA didn't build a foundation, it built a bubble, and that bubble just burst. As soon as Clark's injury was announced, a disturbing wave of reactions surfaced online. It's not sympathy, not concern, celebration. Rival fan bases, especially those aligned with Angel, Reese, and the Chicago Sky, flooded social media with mocking posts, laughing emojis, and gleeful insults. Entire threads ridiculed Clark as soft or fake. This wasn't just random trolling. It was coordinated, targeted hate, and it reflects a deeper problem in the league's culture. Clark hasn't just been mishandled by referees, she's been villainized by sections of the fan base. And without proper protection or league support, that toxicity has only grown. Now the message is clear. Some people are happy she's out. And the silence from the WNBA leadership has allowed that message to spread unchecked. As social media erupted and fans demanded answers, one key voice was missing: the WNBA itself. No statement from the commissioner, no call to review the physicality Clark has endured, no plan to address the double standard in officiating. That silence has been deafening. Meanwhile, Clark has taken elbows to the face, been thrown to the ground and fouled with impunity, all while the refs swallow their whistles. And the worst part? She's penalized for soft contact while being brutalized by opponents. The inconsistency is glaring, and fans are finally calling it out. Why didn't the league step in sooner? Why weren't protections put in place after her preseason injury? The answers remain elusive, but the cost is now crystal clear. Without Kaitlyn Clark, the Indiana Fever are struggling to stay afloat. The offensive rating has plummeted from 107.5 to just 82.2. An astonishing drop that underscores how vital she is. Her passing, her spacing, her playmaking, it's all irreplaceable. Players like Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell are being asked to step up. But without Clark's gravity, the pressure is overwhelming. The schedule ahead is brutal. Washington, Connecticut, Chicago teams hungry for wins, and the Fever. They're still trying to figure out who they are without their star. This isn't just about stats, it's about identity. Without Clark, Indiana looks lost. And unless others rise quickly, their season could slip away. This injury didn't just sideline Kaitlyn Clark, it exposed the structural flaws the WNBA has tried to ignore. The entire league had hitched its future to one player. They didn't use her momentum to grow multiple stars. They didn't build redundancy or develop a safety net. Instead, they threw everything behind Clark, hoping she could carry them into the spotlight. But without proper rest, better officiating, or even consistent leadership, she was left vulnerable. And now she's out. This wasn't just mismanagement, it was malpractice. The WNBA got its golden opportunity and mishandled it at every turn. But there's still hope. Clark will return, stronger, smarter, and maybe, just maybe, the league will finally realize the importance of protecting the stars who give it life.